So I know you've been asking for me to cook on my wood cook stove, but it was leaking smoke. And so now we have 2 bull moose out here today. Erin is doing some cleanup on the stove pipe, and they are actually cleaning both the cook stove and the Blaze King that's down in the basement. Sure, Erin is capable of doing the cleaning himself, but for this first time, we wanted to bring the professionals out, see if they're noticing anything, see if there's something wrong with any of the flues or the pipes or any of the stove. So we just want to make sure that we are not at risk of catching our house on fire or doing anything wrong as far as these 2 stoves go. They're quite high tech as far as wood stoves go in comparison to what like a regular original wood stove was. They have elements in them that the smoke flows through here, and that's where you get the EPA readings and so on, is the reburns and so on. So the technology that goes into these stoves is different than what we are used to. So we wanted to give it a first time, have some professionals out, look at the stoves, let us know that everything is working right before we move forward from here on and clean the pipes and the tops and the whole thing ourselves. So join us today as we work on the 2 stoves. Welcome to our vlog. If you're new around here, we're the Milnes family. We just moved to Alaska in July. We're building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska. That's my awesome husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom, and our second son, Caleb, decided to come with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our 2 dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. They do it from the outside?
So far, unless you have to get up on the top.
Huh? Well,
Nice.
no.
It will be.
Man, when we hit that 30, it might be higher? Down, yeah, bottom of that 30. Yeah, go with that. Then we got a bunch of what's that? What's that? I think so. Is that we do the egg? Probably gonna go with it, right? Bottom. Easy, I figured we'd finish with that one. Today's a short day because our install on the stove didn't make it in. Oh, really? So I was like, I got more time today to deal with this one than I did the other day. You know? We'll just hang it off to the side and maybe it'll come down over the side. Gosh, dang it.
Get the bag under it good enough.
Yeah, I can't get it right on it. But I think if I just put it around and hang it off to the
We're
side.
gonna need to get in there with the vacuum.
You okay?
So it's a good thing that we shut it off. We were, they just said, about 10 degrees. And I'm not laughing, I'm laughing at myself of, jeez, what is wrong with you? We are about 10 degrees from having a Roman candle coming out of this stovepipe. So the creosote had started to melt and drip, and I shut it off because I knew that wasn't right. And then Aaron came back and now they're cleaning it.
or he just pulled the cap off. Then you'll clean the cap off and dump it down the chimney.
I'm gonna open this back door in case he needs something. He can, and he hollers.
Be sure, man, you'll hear him. Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? If we'd have had just a bag sitting in there,
Yeah.
that would have filled up down in that hole.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how am I going to get that out of the hole without ripping it? I mean, you can't just rip it, then you have to vacuum it all out. But then you just fill up a $12 vacuum
Yeah.
bag, you know?
Yeah.
We try to shovel as much of it out of the vacuum as we can. He's just working at 45 right now. Or he's stuck in it. Then we'll just hold it here till the cap. You'll hear the cap go clink clink. Oh, there's a big jump. I don't know. I didn't know I could feel a lip.
Yeah,
But that's as far as I can feel.
Yeah.
You feel the lip and then it flattens out behind it.
Was it? Yeah.
I can't.
Ready?
Yeah.
There we go. Once you broke free, it's no, I'll shake her around. It's broke free now. It was just messed up in the creosote a little. Got her almost. Almost. Have you been in? Let me put one screw at a time. Where's that?
There it
where's
went.
that drill?
You got one?
There's your screws.
You see?
I will. And your drill.
All right, we thought we would walk you and show you what got done today and then tell you what is working really well and what issue we actually have found and trying to come up with a solution for that. Aaron understands it quite a bit better than I do, so I'm gonna turn it over to him and let him explain to you guys what we had going on today.
So this is our 8-inch chimney pipe coming off of our Blaze King in the basement here, and what we learned is really easy. You can take these apart, come in here, there's a cap underneath here you take off, and I can run a chimney sweep right up there from here, and I can clean this pipe out from down here on the outside. I'm gonna go all the way up, it'll bend through the 45s there, go up and touch the cap, and bring her down, clean this out really well. This stove did really well, has a catalyst in it, and it burned really clean. And we also would do a pretty religiously, try to be real religious about every day doing at least a 1 to 2 25-minute really hot burns in it, which help clean the creosote out and keeps it from getting to the point where you're about to have a chimney fire. So this thing did really well, performed well. The guys that were here, they said, yeah, this is only once a year cleaning if we keep running it the way we are. So now we can go inside, we can show you the stove and see what it's all about. So here's our Blaze King stove that we have attached to the chimney that we were just looking at outside. Outside we have a triple wall pipe, and we come on inside here to our double wall pipe coming off of the stove. This stove's been a great stove for us.
It heated basically almost our whole house. It's done a really good job. This stove here, we've spent a little bit of extra money on this stove, and we put the blowers on it, had them come with it, so that way it blows the hot air right across the top, taking all the hot air across the room and helps move it around. This stove has a catalyst in it, and which is really nice because it helps burn the extra contaminants in the smoke before it gets up into your pipe, and helps reduce the buildup of creosote inside the stovepipe. So to do that, there's a flap here, and this flap, this is open, and then I'm gonna lay it down closed, right? So closed shuts off the fire from going straight up the pipe. Okay, and then it lets it come back up here, go through the catalyst, and get reburned through that before it goes up out the pipe. And it helps, like I said, the heat in that thing helps burn the contaminants out. This thermometer right here that's in the stove, I'll show you when it's active. So it says inactive, active. So when it's from here to this inactive spot, that thing is not hot enough to burn the contaminants. So you wait till it gets up here to the active spot, and then you can close the flap, make it come through the catalyst and go on up, and it works really well. But every morning and every evening we try to do what we call a hot burn. We'll open this up, we'll open up the damper all the way to make sure that it's going up the pipe and getting as hot as it can be, and do a really hot burn, and it keeps that stuff from building up. It'll burn it off, whatever does stick to the pipe, and it helps keep that reduced, so we don't have it reduces our chances of a chimney fire. The stove has been every bit worth every dollar that we paid for it. I'm really happy and really pleased with it. As you can see in here, here's the guard for the catalyst, and it helps keeping it from getting hit when you're putting the wood in. And the stove, I highly recommend this stove to anybody that would want to get a stove. Like the guys say, you get what you pay for. So yeah, you are going to pay a little more money for these stoves, but I have zero complaints about this stove. This stove, I can tell, is going to last us our lifetime. It's a really good stove with proper maintenance. It's going to be here for a long time. So appreciate it, and hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks.
All right, we're up here by the JA Roby Cookstove. You've probably seen this stove in several of our other videos. If not, we'll link those in the description box. So we actually are either doing things wrong, or it's the nature of the beast. So we have some issues happening with this stove, and I'm going to walk you through those if you're considering getting a wood cook stove, and let you know some of the issues we're already having. Keep in mind, we just installed this in January. It is only May. A stove like the Blaze King is a once-a-year clean out, where you want to scrape and do all of that deep cleaning. And this JA Roby is turning out to be multiple times a year. It's going to need to be cleaned. What is causing the issue is, number one, we have two kinds of wood that we can really choose from up here in Alaska, and neither one of those woods burn super hot. And with a wood cook stove, you want a super dry wood that burns really hot. That is what destroys that creosote and that buildup in the stove, and helps keep all of it clean. Well, in the middle of winter, we had ordered some wood that wasn't completely dry, or at least it lit like it was dry, but the residue and what it's leaving behind is telling us that it wasn't truly as dry as it needed to be. So we have the wood stored in the basement, so it isn't getting wet, it isn't getting weathered, it is just drying, and that is going to help with the buildup that we had in the stove. The other issue is cleaning it out is extremely difficult. I'll walk you through kind of how this stove works, and you will understand what is getting built up and where. So here's our firebox. What happens is it comes up this front here. From there, it comes across these channels and then up through the flue. Well, as we pulled these off, as you saw earlier in the video, The creosote that was on them was like, it's like glass. It is smooth as can be. And it is extremely difficult to clean in here. So I can get my hand in here, but Aaron really can't get his hand all the way in here to clean this stove. Not only that, it's full of nooks and crannies behind here that are areas, oh there, I just touched something and I have chunks of creosote just falling off the inside of the stove. So this is what was and continues to line the top. So we have a lot more cleanup that we have to do here. See how easily that's coming off? So this was lining the stovepipe. The stovepipe began to leak smoke. Well, smoke goes the path of least resistance. That should have been our first clue that there was something wrong. Aaron was out of town. It was the kids and I thought, well, maybe there's not enough wind outside. The draft isn't working correctly. There was no way in my mind that it could have already been clogged, but it was. The pipe was clogged, not where it hits the roof. It had built up so much creosote right here that when you get to the top here, it was actually dripping onto the floor. When it begins to do that, according to the experts that were here today, we were about 10 degrees away from a fire in our stovepipe, which could potentially burn down our entire house. So we now have a game plan. Every 3 months or so, we're gonna have to come in and do a deep clean inside of the stove. We are also going to have to get the chimney sweeps ourselves. We're able to take it apart right here, just here at this joint, and run up and down it, keeping this clean. So this stove is going to have to be cleaned thoroughly and frequently. I'm gonna ask, if you have a stove like this and you have found a really good way of cleaning it, would you please give me either a link or some information in the description box, not the description box, the comment section, sorry, below, and let us know what you're using to scrape the top to really get these stoves clean. We promised in the beginning we would walk you through. You could learn as we learn, and we'll walk through these things alongside of you, and in hopes that if you take on an adventure like a wood cook stove yourself, that you know that these are some of the things that you want to look out for. So that's why we're just being upfront and honest of our mistakes and what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. So we're gonna get some really dry, good hot burning wood. We're gonna keep this really clean, and we're gonna do a lot more regular maintenance to it in the future. Aside from that, there should be some good cooking videos coming up now that the stove is up and running again, or at least it will be by the end of today. We hope that you choose to join us. You can do that by subscribing to the channel, ring the bell so you get notifications, leave comments, thumbs up, all of those things help our channel to grow. We hope that you join us on our adventure here at the Modern Homestead in Alaska, where we heat primarily with just wood in the Alaska wilderness. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts and have a super blessed week. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.